Thanksgiving table, my brother raised his glass. "I did something big," he said. He was smiling. That smile. My mother asked, "What did you do?" He said, "I'm going to make a lot of money." We all are. Silence at the table. Then curiosity. Questions. "Can I join?" That night, 9 people were interested. 4 years later, 9 people had lost everything. $520,000 total. And my brother was still smiling. My name is Camden Mercer. I'm 47 years old, a firefighter in Phoenix, Arizona. I've worked the same station for 18 years. I live simply, save carefully, and trust my family completely. Or I did. This is the story of how my older brother Wyatt ran a Ponzi scheme that destroyed our entire family financially and emotionally. How he convinced all of us, our parents, cousins, uncle, aunt, and me, to invest our life savings into something that never existed, and how I discovered the truth only after it was too late. Wyatt is 4 years older than me. Growing up, he was the smart one, the ambitious one. He went to Arizona State, got a business degree, worked in finance for a few years before starting his own consulting firm. I was the steady one. High school, fire academy, career. Not flashy, but reliable. Our family is close. Sunday dinners at our parents' house were routine for years. Mom, Dad, me, Wyatt, my younger sister Ivy, our cousins Ashley and Brennan, Uncle Dale, Aunt Simone. Usually 8 to 10 people around the table. Wyatt always had stories, new investment strategies, market trends, business opportunities. Most of it went over my head. I'm a firefighter, not a finance guy. But Wyatt made it sound interesting. Our parents trusted him completely. Dad had worked construction his whole life, retired with a modest pension and some savings. Mom had been a school secretary. They weren't wealthy, but they were comfortable. Wyatt managed some of their investments, set up their retirement accounts, gave them advice. Dad would say, "Wyatt's got a good head for money." I never questioned it. He was my brother. He'd never steered us wrong before. Thanksgiving 2019. The whole family gathered at my parents' house in Scottsdale. Turkey, stuffing, the works. After dinner, we're sitting around the table, coffee and pie. When Wyatt stands up, "I want to share something with everyone," he says, holding his wine glass. We all turn to look at him. "I've made an investment," he continues. "A big one, and it's already paying off." My mother leans forward. "What kind of investment?" "Cryptocurrency mining." A few people groan. Crypto had been in the news constantly. Some people got rich. Most people lost money. It felt like a gamble. "I know what you're thinking," Wyatt says, smiling. "But this isn't Bitcoin speculation. This is mining, actual infrastructure, server farms in Iceland, low energy costs, high efficiency. The company I'm working with has contracts with major tech firms." My cousin Brennan asks, "How much did you invest?" $200,000. The table goes quiet. That's a lot of money. "And in the first 6 months," Wyatt continues, "I've made $30,000. That's 15% annual return. Guaranteed. 15%. That gets everyone's attention. Dad asks, "Guaranteed? How can they guarantee that?" "Contracts," Wyatt says. "The mining operation has fixed contracts with buyers. They know exactly how much crypto they'll mine and sell. It's not speculative. It's infrastructure investment." It sounds plausible. Wyatt had always been good with numbers. He'd never led us astray. "Can we invest?" my mother asked. Wyatt nods. "That's why I'm telling you. The company is opening a new round of investment. Minimum is $20,000. I wanted to give family first access before they open it to the public." I glance at my wife, Nora. She's sitting beside me, looking skeptical. But I'm intrigued. Over the next hour, the conversation revolves around Wyatt's investment. He shows us a website on his phone. Charts, graphs, photos of server farms. It looks professional. By the end of the night, several people express serious interest. That night, driving home, Nora says, "I don't like it." "Why not?" 15% guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Wyatt's been doing this for years. He knows what he's doing. "Camden, we have $85,000 in savings. That's for our son's college, for emergencies. I'm not saying we invest all of it, but maybe 20,000, the minimum." Nora is silent for a long moment. Then, "If you trust him, okay, but just 20. I call Wyatt the next day. "I'm in. 20,000. "Great. I'll send you the paperwork." A week later, I receive an email. "Investment agreement. Cryptocurrency Mining Cooperative, LLC, based in Delaware. Minimum investment $20,000. Expected annual return 15%. Quarterly distributions. I sign. Wire $20,000 from our savings account to an account number Wyatt provides. It feels significant, scary, but also exciting. This could be Carter's college fund, plus some. Over the next few weeks, I learn who else invested. My parents, $75,000, a huge portion of their retirement savings. Uncle Dale and Aunt Simone, $50,000. Cousin Ashley, $40,000. Cousin Brennan, $30,000. My sister Ivy, $25,000. Me, $20,000 initially. Total from family, $240,000. Wyatt tells us he brought in a few friends too. Total first round, $600,000, February 2020. 3 months after I invested, I receive a check in the mail, $750, from Cryptocurrency Mining Cooperative, LLC. Memo, Q4 2019 distribution. I stare at it. It's real, an actual check. That's 15% annually, divided by 4 quarters. $20,000 times 0.15 divided by 4 equals $750. Exactly as promised. I deposit it. It clears. I call Wyatt. I got the check. Told you, he says, laughing. This is just the beginning. I talked to my parents. They got a check too, $2,812.50. 15% of $75,000 quarterly. Everyone in the family got checks. Everyone is thrilled. Nora is surprised. Okay, maybe I was wrong. In May, the second check arrived, $750 again. In August, the third. In November, the fourth. 4 checks, $3,000 total. 15% return on $20,000. Exactly as promised. By Thanksgiving 2020, everyone is talking about it. Wyatt is a hero. Dad keeps saying, I should have invested more. I'm thinking the same thing. December 2020, Wyatt sends an email to the family group. New investment round opening. Same terms. 15% annual. If you want to increase your position, let me know. I talked to Nora. We could add more. It's been a full year. It's legitimate. She's still cautious. How much? Another $20,000? We've made $3,000 back already. It's working. After some discussion, she agrees. I call Wyatt. I want to add another $20. Done. I wired $20,000 more. Now I'm in for $40,000 total. My parents add another $50,000. They're now at $125,000. Uncle Dale and Aunt Simone add $25,000. Total, $75,000. Ashley adds $20,000. Brennan adds $15,000. Ivy adds $10,000. This second round, the family invests another $140,000. Total family investment now, $380,000. The checks keep coming. Quarterly, like clockwork. 2020, 2021, 2022. 3 years. Every 3 months, a check. Always the exact amount. Never late. For me, with $40,000 invested, that's $1,500 quarterly. $6,000 a year. I start using that money for Carter's college savings. In 3 years, I've received $18,000 in returns. My parents are getting over $4,600 quarterly. That's been supplementing Dad's pension. They've been able to travel more, do things they couldn't afford before. Wyatt is the golden child. At every family gathering, people thank him, toast him. He always smiles, modest. I'm just glad I could help. In early 2023, it mentions casually, I'm thinking about a third round. I'm tempted. We've made $18,000 on a $40,000 investment over 3 years. That's almost halfway to getting the principal back. But Nora says no. We're good where we are. Don't get greedy. I listen to her. We don't add more, but my parents do. Another $50,000. They're now at $175,000 total. Uncle Dale and Simone add $30,000. Total, $105,000. Ashley adds $15,000. Ivy adds $10,000. This third round, Family adds another $105,000. Total family investment, $485,000. Everything is perfect. May 2023. I'm supposed to receive my Q1 check. It's usually in my mailbox by the 15th. May 20th, nothing. I call Wyatt. Hey, did the Q1 distribution go out? Oh yeah, slight delay. Processing issue with the bank. Should be there next week. Okay, no problem. It arrives May 28th. My usual $1,500. I don't think much of it. Banks have issues sometimes. August check arrives on time. November check. Delayed again. Doesn't arrive until December 3rd. I mention it to Wyatt at Christmas dinner. Checks have been a little late lately. Yeah, the company switched banks. Growing pains. It'll smooth out. He seems unconcerned. I let it go. But then, February 2024, the Q4 2023 check should arrive mid-February. February 15th, nothing. February 20th, nothing. February 28th, nothing. I call Wyatt, no answer. I text, no response. I call again the next day, still nothing. Now I'm worried. March 2nd, 2024, 3 days after I've been trying to reach Wyatt. My phone buzzes. Group text. From Wyatt to family group. 9 people. Emergency family meeting. Zoom. Tonight, 7 p.m. Everyone needs to be there. My stomach drops. Nora sees my face. What's wrong? I don't know. But something is. That evening, all of us log into Zoom. Wyatt's face appears. He looks exhausted, older somehow. Thanks for joining, he says. His voice is flat. I have bad news. No one speaks. We just wait. The cryptocurrency market crashed. Regulations changed. The mining operation, it's been liquidated. The company is bankrupt. My mother gasps. What does that mean? My father asks. Wyatt takes a breath. It means the investment is gone. Everything. I lost my entire $200,000, and so did everyone else. Silence. Then my mother starts crying. Aunt Simone puts her head in her hands. Uncle Dale just stares at the screen. I'm frozen. $40,000. Gone? How is that possible? Brennan asks. You said it was guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Wyatt says. I believed in it. I lost money too. We all did. When did you know? I ask. My voice sounds strange. The liquidation happened 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to figure out if there's any way to recover funds. There isn't. I'm sorry. The call dissolves into chaos. People yelling, crying, asking questions Wyatt can't or won't answer. After 30 minutes, Wyatt says, I have to go. I'll send more information when I have it. And he logs off. I sit staring at the blank screen. $40,000. 3 years of returns. $18,000. Now meaningless. Net loss. $22,000. Plus opportunity cost. But it's not just me. My parents lost $175,000. That's their retirement. Uncle Dale and Simone, $105,000. Ashley, $55,000. Brennan, $45,000. Ivy, $35,000. Total family loss, $485,000. Everything we'd invested, gone. The next morning, I can't focus at work. I'm supposed to be running drills, but my mind is elsewhere. $40,000. How did this happen? I start searching online. Cryptocurrency Mining Cooperative, LLC. Nothing. No news articles about bankruptcy. No announcements. I search for crypto market crashes in February 2024. The market did dip, but not crash. Certainly not enough to bankrupt an entire operation. Something feels wrong. I call my cousin Brennan. He works in IT, more tech-savvy than me. Brennan, can you help me research this company? I've been doing that all morning, he says. Camden, I can't find anything. No company website anymore. No news, no filings. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's weird. Over the next few days, I dig deeper. I pull out the original investment documents from 2019. Cryptocurrency Mining Cooperative, LLC, registered in Delaware. I search Delaware corporate records. The company exists. Registered in 2019. Registered agent, a generic corporate services firm. No public financials. No officers listed publicly. I call the registered agent. I'm an investor in cryptocurrency mining cooperative. Can you provide contact information for the managing members? We can't disclose that information. Dead end. I try calling Wyatt again. He finally answers on the third day. Wyatt, I need more information. Who ran this company? Where were the servers? Who were the contracts with? Camden. I don't have those details. I was just an investor like you. You brought us all in. You must have done due diligence. I did. The company had presentations, documentation. It looked legitimate. I lost money too. Where's the liquidation announcement? Where's the bankruptcy filing? It's complicated. International jurisdictions. I don't fully understand it myself. He sounds evasive, defensive. Wyatt, this doesn't add up. What are you saying? I'm saying I need answers. He's quiet for a moment. Then, I don't have any more answers to give you, Camden. I'm sorry. He hangs up. I can't let it go. Something is fundamentally wrong. I contact a lawyer, someone I know from the fire department whose wife is an attorney specializing in securities fraud. Her name is Natalie Cross. We meet at her office. I bring everything. Investment documents, emails from Wyatt, copies of the checks I received, bank records. Natalie reviews everything for 2 hours. Finally, she looks up. Camden, I don't think this was a legitimate investment. My chest tightens. What do you mean? The checks you received. Where did they come from? I pull out a copy. Cryptocurrency Mining Cooperative, LLC. But where did that company get the money? From mining operations? Let me ask differently. Did you ever receive any documentation of actual mining activity? Hash rates, electricity costs, equipment inventories, contracts with buyers? I think. No, just quarterly statements saying distribution. The checks you received for 3 years, those weren't returns on investment. Those were just your own money being returned to you, mixed with other investors' money. My stomach drops. What are you saying? This is a Ponzi scheme, a textbook Ponzi scheme. I feel like the floor is falling away. How do you know? Guaranteed returns, no documentation of actual business operations, payments to early investors from new investors' capital. When new investments stopped, payments stopped. Then the crash announcement. But Wyatt lost money too. He said he invested $200,000. Natalie gives me a sad look. Did he? Or did he just say he did? He's my brother. He wouldn't. Camden. Who organized this? Who brought in all the investors? Who managed the company? I don't want to say it, but I know. Wyatt. I drive to Wyatt's house. It's late afternoon. His car is in the driveway. I knock. No answer. I knock harder. Wyatt. I know you're in there. We need to talk. The door opens. Wyatt looks terrible. Unshaven. Disheveled. Camden. I talked to a lawyer. She says this was a Ponzi scheme. Wyatt's face doesn't change. That's absurd. The checks we received, they weren't returns. They were just our own money being paid back to us. That's how investments work. You get returns. There was no mining operation. Was there? Silence. Wyatt, answer me. Was there ever a real business? He looks away. It's more complicated than you understand. Then explain it to me. I can't. You can't, or you won't. He turns back, and for the first time, I see something in his eye. Not guilt, not remorse, anger. You think this is easy? He says. You think I wanted this to happen? Did you steal from us? I didn't steal anything. Everyone got paid for 3 years with other people's money. It was a business. It was supposed to work. We're both yelling now. Where's the money, Wyatt? $500,000 from our family alone. Where did it go? Operating expenses, overhead. Some investors got paid out. It's gone. And how much did you take? He doesn't answer. Wyatt, how much? I used some for living expenses, business development, marketing. How much? About $180,000 over 4 years. I feel sick. You took $180,000? I was running the operation. I deserved compensation. You were running a scam. I believed it would work. I thought new investment would keep coming. It ran out. I stare at my brother. This man I've known my entire life, who I trusted completely. Mom and Dad lost everything because of you. His face crumbles. I know. Ashley's wedding fund, gone. Brennan's down payment for a house. Ivy's savings, my son's college fund, all gone. I know. Do you? Do you actually understand what you've done? He's crying now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But sorry doesn't give the money back. I have to tell the family. They deserve to know the truth. I call my parents first. Dad, I need you and Mom to come over tonight. It's important. When they arrive, I sit them down. Nora brings coffee. They look worried. I found out what really happened with Wyatt's investment. I explain everything. The lawyer's analysis. The Ponzi structure. Wyatt's admission. My mother cries quietly. My father sits stone-faced, hands clenched. He stole from us, Dad finally said. His own parents. He says he didn't mean for it to end this way, that he thought it would work. That doesn't matter. Intent doesn't matter. He took our retirement. I know. What do we do now? I take a breath. We can report him to authorities, file a criminal complaint, try to recover whatever we can. Will that get our money back? Probably not most of it. Maybe some. But it would mean Wyatt goes to prison. My mother looks up sharply. Prison? Securities fraud. Wire fraud. Yes. Prison. She puts her face in her hands. Over the next week, I tell Ashley, Brennan, Ivy, Uncle Dale, and Aunt Simone. The reactions range from shock to rage to devastation. Ashley breaks down crying. The $55,000 she lost was her wedding fund. She's supposed to get married in 6 months. Brennan punches a wall. He was saving for a house down payment. Now he's starting over. Uncle Dale just looks broken. I trusted him. We all did. As a family, we have to decide. Do we press charges? We meet at my parents' house. Everyone except Wyatt. The debate is intense. Brennan wants to throw him in prison. Ashley agrees. He destroyed my life. Ivy is conflicted. He's still our brother. Uncle Dale says, he's a thief. My mother is torn. He's my son. But what he did, my father is silent for most of the discussion. Finally, he speaks. We report him. He needs to face consequences. Never do this to anyone else. We vote. 7 in favor of reporting. 2 abstain. My mother and Ivy. I'm the one who files the complaint. I go to the FBI's Phoenix field office with Natalie, my attorney. We meet with an agent named Rodriguez. He listens to everything, reviews our documents. This is a clear Ponzi scheme, he says. We'll open an investigation. 3 weeks later, FBI agents execute a search warrant at Wyatt's house. They seize his computers, bank records, documents. I don't see Wyatt during this. He doesn't call, doesn't try to explain. 4 months after I filed the complaint, Wyatt is arrested. The charges: wire fraud, securities fraud, operating an unregistered investment scheme. Total scheme: $1.2 million from 23 investors over 4 years. $520,000 from our family alone. Amount Wyatt personally took: $340,000. The rest went to early investor payouts and operating expenses that were mostly fake. Wyatt's lawyer negotiates a plea deal. He pleads guilty to avoid trial. The sentencing hearing is brutal. I'm there, along with my parents, Ashley, and Uncle Dale. The prosecutor reads victim impact statements. Ashley's about her canceled wedding. My father's about losing his retirement security. The judge asks Wyatt if he has anything to say. Wyatt stands. He's thin, pale. He looks at us, his family, in the gallery. I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. I thought I could make it work. I thought if I just got enough investment, I could actually build something real. But I was wrong, and I destroyed my family because of it. I'll regret it for the rest of my life. His voice cracks. He sits. The judge sentences him. 8 years federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release. Restitution order, $1.2 million. But there's no money. Wyatt spent it all. The restitution is symbolic. The victims, us, will likely never see that money again. It's been 18 months since Thanksgiving 2019, since that moment when Wyatt stood up with a glass of wine and changed all our lives. My parents had to postpone retirement. Dad took a part-time job at Home Depot to supplement his reduced income. Mom started substitute teaching again. Ashley postponed her wedding. She and her fiancé are trying to rebuild their savings. Brennan is renting instead of buying. Says it'll be years before he can afford a down payment again. Uncle Dale and Aunt Simone cut back on everything. Their retirement plans are shattered. Ivy moved back in with our parents temporarily to save money. And me? I lost $40,000. Carter's college fund is significantly smaller. We're back to living paycheck to paycheck, rebuilding slowly. But the financial loss isn't even the worst part. The worst part is Thanksgiving. The worst part is Christmas. The worst part is every family gathering where Wyatt's absence is a wound that won't heal. My mother hasn't visited him in prison. Can't bring herself to. My father refuses to even speak his name. Ivy writes him letters sometimes. She won't tell us what they say. I don't know what I feel about Wyatt anymore. Anger, yes. Betrayal, definitely. But also sadness. He destroyed himself, along with all of us. Sometimes I think about that smile, that Thanksgiving smile when he stood up to his investment. Was he lying then? Did he know it was a scam from the beginning? Or did he convince himself it was real, that he could pull it off? I'll never know, because I'll probably never ask him. The FBI investigation revealed that Wyatt had run a smaller version of this scheme years earlier. Before Thanksgiving 2019, that one had collapsed too. He'd barely avoided prosecution, so he did it again, bigger this time. And this time, he targeted us, his own family, because we trusted him, because we loved him, because we believed him when he smiled and said, "We're all going to make money. Trust is a currency." And Wyatt bankrupted ours completely. The strange thing? The checks I received for 3 years, I kept them. They're in a folder in my office. 16 checks, $1,500 each, $24,000 total. Money that was never really mine. Just my own principal, recycled back to me with a lie attached. Sometimes I look at them, remind myself, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Even when it comes from family, especially when it comes from family. Because the people who can hurt you the most are the ones you trust the most. And Wyatt knew that. He used that knowledge, weaponized it. And now we're all living with the consequences. My son Carter is 16 now, old enough to understand what happened. I told him the story last year. "Why did Uncle Wyatt do it?" he asked. "I don't know. Greed, maybe. Desperation. Maybe he convinced himself it wasn't wrong." "Do you still love him?" I thought about it. I love who he used to be, or who I thought he was. But that person, I don't think he exists anymore. That's sad. Yeah, it is. The lesson I've tried to teach Carter: verify everything. Trust, but verify. Even family, especially family. Because love can make you blind, and blindness can cost you everything. I've rebuilt some of the savings. Not all. It'll take years to get back to where we were. My parents will never fully recover. They're in their 70s. There's no time to rebuild a retirement fund. Ashley finally had her wedding last month. Smaller than she'd planned, but beautiful. Wyatt's name was never mentioned. We're healing, slowly, as a family, but we're healing without Wyatt. He made his choice. We've made ours. And every Thanksgiving, when someone raises a glass to make a toast, I feel my chest tighten. Remember that smile, that moment when everything changed. We don't talk about investments anymore at family dinners. We don't talk about opportunities. We just talk about life. Simple, real life. Because that's all we have left. That, and the knowledge that we survived. Wyatt took our money, but he didn't destroy us. We're still here, still family, just different, scarred, cautious, wiser. And I'll never forget, 9 people were interested that Thanksgiving night. 4 years later, 9 people lost everything, $520,000. And my brother was still smiling until he wasn't.